way. I wouldn't even dare classify them in that way. Okay?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't think I'm saying it correctly. But in my experience, especially what we're talking of right now, it's about a training workshop that they give to companies to help them become better prepared. And the title is Building High Performing Future Ready Teams. High performing is really turning them to become more productive. Just like what we did in TagPros. What we did there is we created an AI powered teacher sidekick.
Mm.
So what used to take teachers several days to do, like maybe lesson planning, rubrics creation, grading assessments, thinking of how to gamify their lessons,
Yeah.
things like that. And we have over 20 such features in our platform. It now is taking them only 1 minute, less than 1 minute.
Good day, everybody. This is your show host, Dino Santos for The Leader's Edge. We are on our season opener. That's for season 20, episode 1, with Boogie Boydon, who was here the last time to talk about his book, Ang Bagong Pinoy. Let's not delay any further. Let's let Boogie say a little bit more about himself and his coming project. Boogie, welcome back to the show.
Good day, and good day also to your listeners. And thank you for having me here once more.
Yes.
Well, just to talk a little about myself, what I do is I'm really into information technology. So I've been in IT for more than 40 years,
Wow.
but I'm
Okay.
still passionate about certain things. So right now, what I focus on is I coach companies in their digital transformation journey.
Mhm.
What I mean by that is that I created a framework. It's called the Davidic Growth Paradigm.
For those of you who haven't seen it, you just click on that card and then you'll be able to watch it in its full show. Yeah, go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
I Yeah, I recall we already somehow did in one of the episodes. Helping companies go through their transformative digitalization journey. So I have created this framework with processes, methodologies, instruments, and everything to help them do that. And that's what one of the things that I am passionate about in doing right now. And our topic right now is one of the things that I do to introduce that in companies by telling them that maybe you need to make your employees aware of what's happening in technology so that they would be more receptive when we start doing your digitalization projects.
So, Boogie, when you talk about building future-ready team, the assumption there is that there is a perception that many companies, while they're already making the migration to being digital and being easily accessible to their clients and their customers, the implication is that there are still some who are holding out. No? Yung bang hindi pa rin nag-a-adapt ng mga easily available tools, no? Like to help make their jobs easier. Would what you're going to talk about cover that as well? I mean, maybe to help us understand bakit may resistance pa rin. I mean, it's even if say top management says don't use this, don't use that, but we all know the lower ranks are already using it, so whether they like it or not, people do want their work life balance, and anything they can use to make that happen they will. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh pray tell, where is this resistance coming from? I mean, I'm baffled by it.
Well, okay, that's one of the important things that I tackle with the Davidic growth paradigm. This is actually based on an actual report by McKinsey itself, one of the
Mm-mm.
biggest consulting firm in the world, that said that 70% of digital transformations are failing. And when I did a deep research on it, I found out that one of the biggest reasons is the employees' resistance to change. But when I dug deeper into it, I saw that it was happening because they were introducing technology too much too soon. So there was overwhelmed. The people were being overwhelmed.
Okay.
And the other side of it is that the readiness and preparedness was not there. That's
Mm.
why most digital transformation practitioners would focus on three things. They call it the three pillars of digital transformation. It's people, technology, and let's zero in on a larger issue, which is culture.
Okay.
So in the Davidic growth paradigm, it's technology, process, and culture. And then I included three catalysts, what I call three catalysts,
Mm.
to make it stronger. And I introduced governance, innovation, and resources. So together, all of the six become the growth areas, the potential growth areas of the company. And that's what we look into. Now, to answer your question about being future ready, it's not really just about preparing them for something that's coming.
Mm.
Because as we know now, technology is very much accelerating, right? It's always almost here already. Like we're talking today or
Mm.
something about technology, and tomorrow it's already there, right? It's already here. So it's happening too fast. And so to
Yes.
be future ready is not just about preparing it for something that's going to come at a later point, but it's really preparing your employees to be ready. Technology changes every day. That's what I'm saying
Mm.
in being future ready, so that no matter when that future comes, they are ready. Intrinsically, it's part of culture, right? Building in that culture of being open to technology, being having a growth mindset, being creative, and creating an innovative culture.
Boogie, I can see that many of our services these days are, in fact, already using many of those tools. Like chatbots are ubiquitous. For example, you try to communicate with Globe. These days, if you need something, you go to their FB page, for example, and then there's a chatbot that you can give comments and feedback to. I also noticed, Boogie, that when it comes to writing books, for example, or doing videos, there are tools that make that a lot simpler and faster. Are we in danger of being left behind? I guess that's my point. No, is this resistance healthy, or is it putting us in danger of not being able to compete because we are not fast enough or not agile enough to adopt the technology.
Well, I don't think that we are at a disadvantage. For one, well, in the global arena, well, we have a lot of knowledge workers
Mm.
in the first place, right? Our BPOs are thriving, and that's because we are able to service a lot of the requirements of other countries because we generally have an intelligent workforce and a very skilled workforce when it comes to technology. The important thing for employees to understand is that it's not that AI will replace them, it's that those who are able to embrace the technology faster and with purpose would be the ones that would replace them, right? Okay.
Mm.
Because we still would be needing people. For example, I just gave recently a talk to these companies in semiconductor, one of the
Oh,
smaller groups of SAP. Yeah,
SAP,
you
yes.
were the one who
Yeah.
introduced me to them. Yeah,
Yes.
so one of their subgroups, I think it's called ASEMEP, they invited me to talk about AI and these dark factories. And I showed them an example where in Taiwan, where they have these dark factories, those who used to be on the floor were now trained to be in some sort of a network operating center, and they have this all of these monitors. And these people who used to be on the floor were now trained to do the oversight work. They
Oh,
they are
monitoring.
supervising the
Mhm.
robot. Right? So they're looking at, oh, what is this robot doing? Is this robot doing the right thing? Right? Do I need to tweak the instructions? So this things like that.
Mhm.
So that's where we're going. We need to put into the mindset of, well, that's where the growth mindset should come in. A fixed mindset would tell people, no, I can do that anymore. I'd rather, just resign or retire, right? Okay. Rather than learning new things. But a growth mindset would push them to think of how can I shift? How can I learn new things? How can I be more productive in this new environment that I'm facing.
Thank you for that, Boogie. And while we're at it, I'd like to let our viewers know that Boogie here is also the prime mover of Tag Pros. In fact, that's a company. I think that's a service that he offers schools, and I've seen it in action. Where using AI tools and other software, Boogie is able to make teachers' lives a lot easier. In terms of generating a curriculum, in terms of the admin work related to checking papers, issuing tests, or LMS. Yeah, no, all of that. If you go to visit his FB page called Tag Pros, you're going to see a lot of evidence, a lot of people already adopting and using it, which goes to show that he's right. It's not about being afraid that you might lose your job. It's really about learning to work with the tools that make your job easier. So,
Exactly.
Boogie, if we're looking into the future, which industries in your thoughts could benefit the most?
But in my experience, especially what we're talking of right now, it's about a training workshop that they give to companies to help them become better prepared. And the title is Building High Performing Future Ready Teams. High performing is really turning them to become more productive. Just like what we did in TagPros. What we did there is we created an AI powered teacher sidekick.
Mm,
So what used to take teachers several days to do, like maybe lesson planning, rubrics creation, grading assessments, thinking of how to gamify their lessons,
yeah.
things like that. And we have over 20 such features in our platform. It now is taking them only 1 minute, less than 1 minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We've designed it in such a way that it's also very user friendly. They don't even have to know that it's an AI that's behind it, but
Mm-mm.
it's like just they're telling the platform or the machine what they want. Like, okay, so there are drop downs there, and I would invite people to check it out. Maybe you can flash the
Yep.
URL.
Sure.
Some it's gabay.tagpros.us. Okay, well, you might be wondering why it's US. It's a US based but Filipino owned company. So it's about saying your parameters. Like, let's say, okay, I'm a grade 3 teacher. I'm teaching science, and we are already in quarter 3. And with those basic parameters, the platform, the system, our AI would already show in the next drop down what are the competencies that are for that particular set of parameters, like grade 3 science and
Mm,
quarter 3. So the teacher
mm-mm.
doesn't even have to look at the curriculum, the matatag curriculum of DepEd, and look, oh, what is it that I have to teach today? Oh, what is it that where are we now in our lessons? No, she doesn't even have to do that anymore, okay? Because we have put the entire matatag curriculum into our system, and so it just picks it out and then can go on say, okay, what kind of learning activity do I want to do? And it
Mm.
can even add other parameters because we even have a chatbot called Gabi where they can ask questions like maybe, "Hey, can you give examples of how to make this more fun?"
Mm.
And then they can just copy that and paste it into their prompt, okay, into their as part of the parameters. And then when they click generate, you would see a line moving there. In less than 1 minute, they have a whole
Wow.
lesson plan that they can download.
Awesome. So, in other
Yeah.
words, there are algorithms that make their jobs easier because it's based on the guidelines that the Department of
Yes.
Education set.
Yes.
Awesome, Boogie. So I do hope more of our teachers, especially those who are educators listening to this, would take advantage of that and go visit Tag Pros. So moving on to the program that you're going to be offering soon, this workshop. Could you talk more about it?
As I've said, I've been doing coaching for several companies, and we have evolved a process that helps that objective of preparing the employees to become better at what they're
Mhm.
doing with the use of AI. And in fact, I've always insisted on calling AI not as artificial intelligence, but as augmented intelligence. I
Mm.
think we've tackled that in one of our
True,
episodes.
true.
Yeah, because what we want AI to be able to do for the users is to augment their capabilities. Just
Mm,
like what we're doing with the teachers. They're very good at doing what do, but it takes them too long, right?
mm,
And the problem is that it takes them away from the more important task that they should be doing, which is caring for their students, teaching, especially those who are lagging behind.
mm,
And that's the purpose of augmented intelligence. We
mm,
want AI to be helping them in doing the more burdensome tasks so
mm,
that it can free up their time and they can devote it to do the more important things. And that's what we've
mm,
been telling the teachers. Our purpose is really to help them gain more time, gain back more time, so that they can focus on guiding their students, helping their students,
mm,
especially those who are lagging behind. And that's how I came about formulating a combination of tools that can help employees do the same thing, increase their productivity, and so on. It's about a combination of a growth mindset, then generative AI, and then a goal setting methodology called OKRs, which is objectives and key results.
mm,
I studied this and I got certified in it. It's a goal setting methodology that was invented by Intel, but was popularized by Google because they are one of the prime adherents of the methodology. It introduces a more disciplined and agile way of setting your goals and making sure that you are meeting them by setting certain metrics as your targets. Okay? You don't just say like improve our website. Okay? You state how you would want it improved, like
right.
maybe increase or reduce the loading time from 10
Mm,
seconds to 5 seconds or from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. So it's measurable and you'll be able to validate whether you've achieved your objective. So once that kind of mindset and discipline is inculcated in the employees, then they become to be more knowledgeable in how to do their work better. And
mm.
that's the main objective of the workshop that I'm offering.
Awesome. So, if you could, we'll give your workshop a chance to be mentioned and promoted here. What would be a few of those apps or those tools that you feel would benefit our potential attendees? Maybe mention one or two and the big benefit that they'll get if they embrace it or they try it.
Well, I do give some examples on how to help them by pointing out, let's say, oh, what is it that you want help on, right? What kind of work, okay?
Mm-mm.
And then, oh, this is a tool. But what I focus on more is really on how to harness the power of generative AI because that alone is a very powerful AI tool. And you
Yes.
have lots to choose from. There's ChatGPT, there's Gemini, there's Grok, there's Claude, there's DeepSeek, and more are coming out as we speak,
Mm,
right? No, but it's really figuring out how best can I harness this power, and that's what
mm,
I teach. Because the secret in communicating with this generative AI is really in how you craft your prompt. They,
mm,
I keep on telling people this Gen AI, although they are called artificial intelligence, they're not really intelligent. Okay, the AI has been trained with one very simple thing, right? It's about detecting patterns.
mm,
It's really all about that. When you look at, and that's in fact the precursor of the generative AI was machine learning, and that was what it was all about. Machine learning is really teaching a machine to detect patterns so that when you give it a new input, it can reason and say that, this is whatever. Like, for example, you train a machine how to recognize a dog by showing it pictures of animals and specifying which are dogs and which are not.
mm,
So eventually figures out the pattern of figuring out when a picture is shown, whether enough of those patterns are there so that you can say, that's a dog. And that's basically what AI is really all about.
mm,
And Gen AI is nothing really far from that. But what made Gen AI very useful is that it can now create new output. In machine learning, it was really about just looking at the input and saying what it is.
Mm.
But now you can give Gen AI an input and it can produce something new,
Mm.
like compose a poem or write an article or even or create a lesson plan, like what we were talking of earlier. Right?
Mm.
So it's that, but it's about also understanding patterns because it was trained on a huge volume of words and how those words are formed together to create, meaningful sentences and so on. And so when it looks at whatever it is that you type, it tries to predict what would be the best next set of words that will complete it. Basically, what LLM is really all about.
Mm.
But of course, it has evolved and become more intelligent, so to speak, because of the continuous training that it is being subjected to. And
So
that's, yeah, go ahead.
so Boogie, what we're saying is that for people who wish to join our online webinar on these topics, they'll learn things that will help them address their individual needs. The two of us, we do a lot of appearances, we do a lot of talks, we do a lot of presentations. So it's possible you and I could literally lose our voice one day
Yeah.
because of all the invitations that we get. I have a feeling there might be an AI tool somewhere. Like in one of our shows where Paul interviewed Ida Johnson, she showed us a clip of her speaking fluent Mandarin while she doesn't even know how to speak in Mandarin. It looked like her, it sounded like her, but speaking in Mandarin. So she said that as a speaker, whenever she goes to other countries, she always records a portion that speaks in the language of the country where she got invited before she reverts to herself speaking her native tongue. That was to win over, build rapport. If I were at an attendee and I wanted to learn how to do that, I could learn that from you.
Yeah. Well, only if it comes up as part of what they would. What I do is I try to customize it as much as I can so that we can make the most of the time.
Yes.
The whole program is only just 1 day. It's six
Oh.
hours, and I offer it to companies. But for a company, I can talk to their training director and say, "Oh, what do you think are the because they've done maybe TNA or something. What do you think
Mm-mm.
your employees need most?" And I would
Mm.
tailor the examples, the workshop itself on the things that they need help on.
Mm.
So like it's about creating the reports or uh, creating a project management plan or
Mm.
whatever it is they are having difficulty goal setting, meeting their
Mm.
objectives, etc. Planning, all of these things,
Mm.
whatever it is that comes up in the discussion, that's what we focus on during the workshop. I teach them how to get the most out of a generative AI by teaching them how to craft a
The
very,
prompts.
very good prompt,
Yeah.
okay, and how to iterate on it so that they can extract the best answer. One
Mm.
of the problems I've seen is that because some people do not really understand how Gen AI works, prompt it with something. But when the AI starts, hallucinating or producing some, it doesn't look right. They give up and they say, oh, wala namang kwenta pala to. AI na to, kung ano lang pinagsasabi. No? Without realizing that they could iterate. Right? Okay. One curious thing. If you try to read about prompt engineering, some would say that the best way to do it is by giving it a persona, right?
Yes.
Like you say, you are an expert digital marketer. You start with that. But others would say, no, it's just telling it how you would want framing your prompt in such a way that you are able to convey exactly what is it that you want to happen. And they keep on telling me, which one is best? Well, they're both applicable in terms of how you would want it to happen. For example,
Mm.
if I want an answer on something that I'm not an expert on,
Mm.
like I don't really know that much. I know a little, right? But I don't really know that much to be called an expert. Then I would use the persona type
Mm.
because that way you are telling the machine AI to act as an expert based on the vast knowledge that it has.
Yes.
and it will give you the answer. On the other hand, which is what I often do, is I know what it is that I want because I'm already a specialist on it. I'm already specializing on it. I just need help in crafting something.
Mhm.
So I use AI more of an assistant, an intelligent assistant,
Right.
right? Like if I have an employee and I tell, oh, can you write this, or can you polish this report for me?
Mhm.
Right? An employee would maybe take 3 days right, to do it.
Right.
But an
B-
AI would be able to give you in seconds, right? But you need to be alert. You need to read. That's another problem. Some people don't even read what they,
That would be a mistake. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You need to read it. It's like conversing with your assistant. Like your assistant gives you a draft, then you review
Mhm.
it, and then you say, "Oh, I noticed that you mentioned something here that doesn't seem quite right. Can you rewrite that?" And that's how
Mhm.
you iterate. Especially ChatGPT would even answer like, "Oh, great catch! Oh, thanks for pointing that out."
It does have personality, especially uh, with AI
Sorry.
like Grok, for example. You know, may
Yeah, Grok.
personality siya talaga.
Yeah, yeah,
And who can blame it? It learns from X, which is very raw,
yeah,
very
yeah,
gritty. Now, borrowing from what you said, I agree that it's really about how you frame your questions or the use of a persona. Sometimes what I do is I insist, you know, and one of the filters that I use, cite sources and peer reviews. So then it will generate something for me that comes from peer reviewed material with sources that it can cite, and then
yeah,
I check
yeah,
to
yeah,
make sure, because it's been said that AI in the process of learning and growing will generate collateral damage or
yeah, yeah,
you know the hallucinations that you mentioned.
yeah,
But I'm intrigued by what you're saying, because now we're saying that even though it's still in the process of maturing and becoming the juggernaut, the information juggernaut that it's meant to be, we can already begin using it as long as we know how to prompt it properly, as
exactly.
long as we know how to create the filters, or in your case the persona that might work to generate superior results. So I'm getting that these are the things that our participant will benefit from: learning how to write good quality prompts, learning how to write the persona that will help them get the results that they want.
Yeah, exactly. And it's actually more than that. It's really equipping them with a certain methodology of coming
Mm.
up with the prompt itself. Okay, like it's based on my own experience, but I've been using Gen AI for quite some time, very extensively,
Mm-mm.
and I've been experimenting, of course. So I would study different prompt engineering techniques, and then I would combine them, and well, there's a secret formula which I don't want to reveal
Of
here,
course.
which I teach the participants. It's really about being one level higher than just ordinary prompt engineering. And it makes the whole workshop even easier. I've given this to more than 1,000 participants, by the way, varied industries, education, cooperatives, manufacturing, even foundations, right? Technology companies. So I've given it to a lot of participants. And what pleases me the most is when I see during the workshop that there are these aha moments.
Ah.
So, while they're working and they get excited and they say, oh,
Yeah.
it's so fulfilling to
Mm.
see that happen. What I'm doing right now is
Oh,
I'm
okay.
offering it to companies
Companies.
on a per
Mm.
company basis because
Ah,
it's
okay.
right now it's still difficult to because I would want to do it in the best way possible, which really figuring out how to help the employees best. And it would be better if they are in one company and they have the same
Ah.
uh, needs and they have the same requirements
Mm.
rather than a public where they're coming from all different types of backgrounds, all
Right.
different types of industries.
Mm.
So I'm not yet venturing to that, but maybe sooner or yeah,
Yeah,
sooner
eventually,
or
maybe.
later, yeah, yeah, we would have a public webinar, a public seminar, or something like that. I'm
Mm.
even thinking of turning this into an online course so that
Awesome.
it can be, yeah, more people can benefit from it. They can do it at their own pace, right?
Mm.
And but I'm figuring out how to tweak the offering into something that would more even on a personal level. Like I'm just one learning the course, but I'm getting the most out of it because it's like
Mm.
it's speaking to me personally.
Mm. So, for our viewers, what Boogie is offering has the potential for making your life better. If you think about the lost hours we suffer through in traffic, just to go to work and then come home from work, if there were a way for you to do your job faster, whether live or remote, because of these augmented intelligence tools, that would certainly be worth something to you. And if it is, you know who to look for. He's right here, Boogie Buidon, programmer extraordinaire, author, and certainly one of our favored guests. Yeah, because he's been around with Pax Corpus, with Colin Blackwell, talking about AI and the future trends. We're lucky to have him today. Boogie, any last words that you'd like to share with our viewers, especially about the new program that you are trying to help them benefit from?
I think what's more important to remember here in our
Mm,
discussion is this. It's based on the whole principle on which the Davidic growth paradigm is based on. It's not about technology.
mm,
Okay? Because technology is accelerating so fast. Yes, it is. There are a lot of tools that you can choose from. Yes, there are. But it's about preparing yourself from the point of view of three things. Number one is mindset. It's about mindset. So that's what I emphasize when I do the training. In fact, a big part of the morning session is focused on mindset building
ah,
because the employees have to understand first how to have to embrace a certain kind of mindset before they can even start exploring these tools. And then I introduce them to AI and more specifically to generative AI. And then I introduce them to OKRs because if you already have the tool to be productive, it's important that you're able to craft your objectives in a way that will help you even be more productive. Like, you're able to set your goals in a way that will help you understand whether you're achieving them or not. Then that
mm.
is what makes for that high performing teams.
That is great news because even their bosses, the decision makers or the key stakeholders, will see the ROI much clearer, much faster. So, wow! Thank you so much, Boogie, for being with us today.
Thank you
Um,
also.
you're very welcome. So, for our viewers, it does help us enormously if you give us feedback. So do let Boogie and I know what you think, especially if you're interested to have this happen in your company, because that's exactly who Boogie is trying to do it for. Corporations, organizations make their people more productive and more effective. And if you like this show, you learn something from it, do click like, share, and subscribe. And just remember, learning is a never ending journey with limitless vistas. Good day.